Hey there, welcome back to my channel, String Things by Mel. My name is Melissa. I'm a stay-at-home mom living in Vancouver, Canada, and on my channel, I like to chat and share everything about my knitting hobby. Today, I'm sitting down to do a little book review. I have my hands here on Arctic Knits by Weichien Chan, also known as the Petite Knitter. I'm going to share with you all the details, let you know what all the patterns are, and all the information that you can find in here and that you won't find anywhere else. So let's go ahead and get started. It is a lovely soft cover book. I did purchase this with my own money, so not sponsored or affiliated. I purchased online from Indigo because I had a little birthday discount code to use from there. You can purchase directly from thepetiteknitter.com. The price there is $48 Canadian, and that includes a little surprise gift. And I believe taxes are additional as well as the cost of shipping. I purchased mine after discount for about $30 from Indigo. I've seen prices range from, in the low 30s to $40 from other online retailers, but it is available at different places if you cannot purchase from Weichien directly. It is a lovely coated linen cover stock. It's got a lovely texture to it, and it's matte and lovely embossed lettering for the title here. It's got this really nice fold to the front and back covers, and I like that because I think it adds some durability to the cover. After some wear and tear, maybe some contact with moisture, I find some books can start to separate and maybe they start to get a little dog-eared from all the flipping back and forth. But by having this edge folded, and because it's covered and coated, it does tend to last longer in my opinion. The size of the book is 20 centimeters by 25 centimeters. It's smaller than a Lina magazine or a Sadness Garn booklet, for example, and it has 160 pages. The pages themselves are a lovely uncoated paper stock, not too thin, maybe slightly on the thicker side, but it's uncoated, so if you want to write on the pages with a pencil, you can easily do so. And there are a total of 15 patterns in this book, and that includes 6 jumpers, 3 hats, 3 mittens, and 3 socks. So, organization of the book. The book starts with an introduction and a little blurb or a couple pages about how to use the book. So, fit, charts, measurements, gauge, sizing. There's a schematic listed or illustration for all of the patterns. And it also has a little write-up on knitting in the Arctic. So where Weichien lives, she's in Nunavut, Iqaluit, Canada, part of the Arctic Circle. And just she writes about what it's like to live in the Arctic, how she's inspired by living in the Arctic. And then the next section is tools and techniques, and that includes some photographs of tools, photographs of some of the techniques that are used are mentioned in the book, and then it goes into the patterns, and then finishes off with a list of the suppliers, acknowledgements, and a blurb about the author. There's a really nice defined color palette going throughout, and that's not just because of the design of the book, but the designer herself has a pretty, I don't want to say strict, but defined color palette that she likes to knit with. She likes to knit with colors that kind of coordinate or remind her of the Arctic, and you can see that all the way through this book. Lovely photographs, professionally photographed. Weichien, and I believe maybe it's her partner, who are the models for all of the samples in the book. But I love kind of just like these full spreads in the book, sharing pieces of her Arctic home. I was looking through this book with my daughter Darcy, and she especially liked the dog sledding photos. Let's see if I can find where that one was. Ah, here we go. Darcy particularly liked that one. So that's the general layout, organization of the book. So I'm going to go ahead and go through each of the patterns, provide you all the details, and then at the end we'll kind of summarize and get into a little bit more in depth of what's in this book. So all the patterns are in the section called the projects, and it starts off with the Arctica Jumper. So this is a colorwork, so all the jumpers, I should say, are colorwork jumpers. That's what she's known for. This one is constructed top down in the round. It is a round yoke construction, and there are 4 colors used. There's a main color and 3 contrast colors, and it's offered in 10 sizes. It's described as having a unisex boxy fit, and there are 2 options for body length. It can have cropped or regular, and because of the jumper being knitted top down, it is easier to try on and figure out what lengths you want. But there are also 2 sleeve length options, bracelet and full length. But of course, you can customize those to your preferences. So 10 sizes offered. Finished measurements of this jumper is 91 centimeters to 200 centimeters, or 36.5 to 80 inches. There's a recommended positive ease of 10 to 18 centimeters, or 4 to 7 inches. So after taking into account recommended ease, this jumper will fit bust 73 centimeters to 190 centimeters, or 29.5 to 76 inches. The suggested yarn is Iztec Let Lopi, which is kind of an Aran or worsted weight yarn, and the stitch gauge is 18 stitches. The second of the 6 jumper patterns is the Fjord Jumper, worked top down in the round yoke construction. There are 2 colors used in this one, and again, 10 sizes offered. Again, 2 options for body length and sleeve length. Finished measurements for the Fjord Jumper is 76 centimeters to 165 centimeters, or 30 inches to 65 inches. Recommended positive ease of 5 to 10 centimeters, or 2 to 4 inches. So after taking into account recommended ease, this jumper will fit 66 centimeters to 160 centimeters, or 26 inches to 63 inches. The suggested yarn is Sonder Yarn Co. Sunday Morning, DK or light worsted, and this one has a stitch gauge of 24 stitches for the colorwork and 22 stitches for the stockinette portion. And for those of you who like coordinating outfits, there is a matching hat, the Fjord hat, worked bottom up, so from the brim to the crown, also 2 colors, available in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. The finished measurements are 49 centimeters, 52 centimeters, and 55 centimeters, or 19.25, 20.5, or 21.75 inches. The suggested yarn is the same as the jumper, Sonder Yarn Co. Sunday Morning, and this one has a stitch gauge of 28 stitches. Jumper number 3 is the Baffin jumper. This is worked top down in the round and features 2 colors. Offered in 10 sizes, finished measurements ranging from 82 centimeters to 173.5 centimeters, or 32.25 inches to 68.25 inches. This one has a recommended positive ease of 11.5 centimeters to 24 centimeters, or 4.5 to 9.5 inches. After taking into account recommended ease, this jumper is made to fit bust 58 centimeters to 162 centimeters, or 22.75 to 63.75 inches. The suggested yarn is Bijan Bouche Le Petit Lambswool, which is a fingering 4-ply weight, and stitch gauges here are 24 and 25 stitches. Next, we have the Pingo jumper, jumper number 4 out of the 6 offered in this book. This one is worked top down in the round and features 2 colors. 10 sizes offered, and finished measurements range from 76 to 165 centimeters, or 30 to 65 inches. Recommended positive ease of 5 to 10 centimeters, or 2 to 4 inches. So after taking into account recommended ease, jumpers made to fit busts ranging from 66 centimeters to 160 centimeters, or 26 inches to 63 inches. Suggested yarn is from Julie Aslin, Anatolia, held with a strand of nurtured fine. So you have a lace weight held with a DK or light worsted, and the stitch gauge is 22 stitches. Next, we have our first mitten pattern in the book, and it's the Pingo mittens. These are worked bottom up in the round, featuring 2 colors, and they're available in 3 sizes: small, medium, large. So for hand length, that ranges from 15 to 18 centimeters or 6 to 7 inches. The suggested yarn is the same as the jumper. Julia Aslin, Anatolia, lace weight yarn held with nurtured fine. And this one has a different stitch gauge from the jumper at 24 stitches. Just want to quickly mention, I said that the hats come in sizes, 3 sizes, small, medium, large. They're actually labeled as 1, 2, 3. So I just wanted to correct myself there. Next, we have another jumper number 5 out of 6. It's the Alpena Paca. Alpena Paca, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but it's another jumper, Alpena Paca, worked top down in the round, features 2 colors. And this one's probably my favorite out of this book because of the alpacas. I'm a sucker for that motif that she's got going on in this one. So 10 sizes, finished measurements range from 79 to 168 centimeters or 31 to 66 inches. There's a recommended positive ease of 7.5 to 13 centimeters or 3 to 5 inches. And so this is made to fit bust 66 centimeters to 160.5 centimeters or 26 to 63 inches. Suggested yarn for the Alpena Paca jumper is Wool Dreamer's Manchalope, which is a fingering 4-ply, or Bare Naked Wool Stone Soup DK. DK or light worsted. So it's interesting that we have a fingering weight and a DK weight suggested, but Manchalope, I believe it's an unspun yarn, so maybe it has a bit of more bloom that makes it really nice to work out for color work. And we have a 22 stitch gauge for the Alpena Paca jumper because you can never have too many alpacas. There's a matching hat to go with the Alpena Paca jumper. There is a hat. This one is worked bottom up in the round, available in 3 sizes. Now, this is one in the book. In my copy, the finished circumference measurements for the hat are incorrect in my copy of the book. I did reach out to the designer to double check what the measurements are, and she got back to me right away. If you are viewing these patterns on Ravelry, they are correct there. But this one has finished head circumference, 48 centimeters, 52 centimeters, and 55 centimeters, or 19.25, 20.5, and 21.75 for the 3 sizes. Same suggested yarn as the jumper, Wool Dreamer's Manchalope or Bare Naked Wool Stone Soup DK, and has a 24 stitch gauge. The next pattern is the last of the 6 jumpers. It's the Glacial Jumper. This one's worked top down in the round and features 2 colors, offered in 10 sizes. Finished measurements range from 74.5 to 163.5 centimeters or 29.25 to 64.25 inches. There's a recommended positive ease of 5 to 10 centimeters or 2 to 4 inches. After accounting for ease, this jumper is made to fit bust 64.5 to 158.5 centimeters or 25.25 to 62.25 inches. The suggested yarn is Cardiff Cashmere Classic, which is a DK or light worsted, and we have here a 22 stitch gauge. Next is our first sock pattern, which is the Arctos socks. These are worked top down, so from the cuff to the toe, with an afterthought heel. It features 2 colors, and it's offered in 11 sizes from children to adult. So with socks, negative ease is recommended, and that negative ease is 1.3 centimeters or ½ inch. The suggested yarn is Big Little Yarn Co. Trusty Sock Base. And we have a 33 stitch gauge for these socks. To go along with those Arctos socks, we have Arctos mittens. These are worked bottom up in the round in 2 colors, offered in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large. Hand length is 15 to 18 centimeters or 6 to 7 inches. The suggested yarn for these mittens is Wool Dreamers Mota, which is a TK light worsted and a 24 stitch gauge. After the Arctos mittens, you'll find the Dorset socks, worked top down, so cuff to the toes, with an afterthought heel. These are worked in 3 colors and available in 3 sizes, children to adult. The recommended or suggested yarn is Biche and Bouche Le Petite Lamb's Wool, which is fingering 4-ply weight, and the stitch gauge is 33 stitches. Next is the Snowdust hat, worked bottom up in the round in 2 colors, offered in 3 sizes. This was another spot in my book where the circumference measurements were incorrectly um, listed. And the designer also confirmed the measurements for me for this hat as well. And again, on Ravelry, the correct measurements are listed there. But these ones have, this hat has a finished head circumference of 48, 52, and 55 centimeters, or 19 and a quarter, 20 and a half, and 21 and 3/4 inches. The suggested yarn is Willentwine Shetland Romney, which is a sport weight, and the stitch gauge is 24 stitches. To match with the Snowdust hat, there are Snowdust socks, or top down in the round, cuff to toe, again with an afterthought heel, worked in 2 colors, and available in 9 sizes from children to adult. The suggested yarn is the same as the hat, Willentine Shetland Romney, and has a stitch gauge of 33 stitches. The final pattern in the book is the Willow mittens. These are worked bottom up in the round in 2 colors and available in 3 sizes, small, medium, large. The hand length ranges from 15 to 18 centimeters or 6 to 7 inches. Suggested yarn for these mittens is Sonder Yarn Co. Sunday Morning, DK or light worsted yarn weight, and the stitch gauge is 24 stitches. So that is all 15 patterns. That was a lot of information. You can, of course, rewind, go back in the video if you want to see those details again, but these are also on Ravelry if you do have access to Ravelry. I'll put a link in the description to the book there if you want to browse online there and look at more photos as well. So now let's get into more of the details that you will find in the book. So all of the color work is charted. You will be following along visually. There's no written out instructions for, change to this color, change to that color. You need to be able to read the charts, and they are in color and color coded with a legend included. Also, for every pattern is a schematic. They are actually very cute illustrations. If I can hold one up without revealing too much. But they're all very lovely, cute illustrations which match the colors of the samples in the book. And on those illustrations or the schematics, you'll find measurements for the jumpers. You'll find chest circumference, side length cropped, side length regular, sleeve length bracelet, sleeve length full, upper arm, wrist circumference, and yoke depth. So those are all great measurements to see and will allow people to kind of pick and choose which size to make, also where to make adjustments according to your preferences, because not all of us fit a standard body chart, right? All of these patterns are unisex, boxy fit, so great for everyone, really. I don't believe there's any sort of shaping in the body for all these patterns, so that is something that you will have to add if that's something that you want. But there's no color work on the body portion. The color work is only on the yoke, so should be relatively easy to make adjustments around the waist if you want to do that. So I've been saying centimeters and inches, and that is the same in the book. You'll find both imperial and metric measurements, so centimeters, inches, meters, and yards. All the yardage or meters required for the cropped and regular versions of the jumpers are included. And there is a short description of the two colored samples, if there are two colored samples, telling you exactly which colorway is used from the suggested yarn. The one thing that's not mentioned about the suggested yarn, so for example, we have here for the jumper where Sandra Yarn Co. Sunday morning is the suggested yarn. It doesn't say like, does this come in a 50-gram skein and have this many meters, for example. That is something that's important if you can't find this yarn and you need to make a yarn substitution. Now you can of course look that information up, but it would have been nice to have that kind of already in there so that you could, you know, make your search a little bit easier. So that is something that is missing. Also, in regards to choosing a size and figuring out fit, the models, their measurements are not listed anywhere in the book, and nowhere in the book is it listed about what size the models are wearing or how much ease they have. So that is something that I don't know why that isn't included more. I know some people are, you know, kind of sensitive and can be triggering when they read kind of measurements like that, but to at least have maybe this person has 4 inches of positive ease and is wearing a size small or something like that would be nice, just to help guide some of us that are more, you know, visual when it comes to looking at sizes. If you are having trouble trying to figure out a size, there are some recommendations how to figure out fit. My recommendation is to always measure your most favorite fitting sweater or top that you have, and compare that to the finished measurements of all the jumpers in here. Going back about yarn substitutions, there's no yarn substitutions actually listed in the book, but if you are browsing on Ravelry, there's a short list in each pattern of alternative yarns that you could use for these. All right, guys, that's it for today. Arctic Knits by Weichien Chan, also known as the Petite Knitter, a size-inclusive pattern book, 6 jumpers, 3 mittens, 3 hats, 3 socks. The jumpers, the sizes are range from for teens to adults, and there are 10 sizes there. All of the jumper patterns are worked top down in the round with a circular yoke construction. The color work is on the yoke, and then the rest of the sleeves and the body are plain stockinette. There is short row shaping to help raise the back neck on these jumpers, and there's also optional short row shaping for the chest area should you need it. Maybe you're a busty woman or a man with a large chest. There is that option there. There's also 2 options for body length, cropped and regular, and 2 options for sleeve length, bracelet, and full length. All the colorwork charts are included, a schematic for everything, not just the jumpers. Just a beautiful book in general, beautiful photos, lovely colors, lovely yarns used in here. Just a reminder, I will put the link to her website as well to the link to Ravelry if you want to browse some more information. These patterns are not available for individual sale, so if you really like these patterns, you do need to purchase the book either from Weichien directly for $48, which includes a surprise special gift, plus taxes and shipping. I purchased mine with my own money from Indigo because I had a birthday discount code to use, and it happened to be on there, so that's why I purchased from Indigo. But yeah, lovely book, guys. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. But hope you found this information helpful. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Until next time, happy knitting. Bye.